What is up, everybody? Nick Legostava here, about to be bringing you a review of Kingdom Ultra Magnus. Now, right out the gate, we're going to start with the negatives, per usual. So the negatives with this guy, it's just a reuse of the Siege mold. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone knew that going into this, but I never had the Siege mold, and there's a few caveats to this I don't think I've seen people really point out. These feet are fixed at this A pose, and I kind of think that A pose is a little too wide. I kind of want to have his legs about like right there, and you can't do that with the toe tilt. Like you can't push it up into that. Like that's so stupid to me. So that's something that I didn't really notice before I got this. And, I mean, this thing is like a freaking KO practically. There is no Autobot symbol anywhere on this guy. He doesn't have one on his shoulder like he's supposed to. And there's even molded detail when I get it into vehicle mode. I'm not going to do that right this second, but right there, there should be an Autobot symbol there, but there's not. I mean, that's unexcusable at the leader class price. I mean, really. Oh, it's this or that. Oh, it's okay. I could just put them on myself. You shouldn't have to do that when you buy a figure, let alone a leader class figure. This was $55 after tax. It's no joke. So let's just get into size comparisons. Let's segue that right here. Here is Siege Springer with battle damage removed. And here is Voyager Hot Rod. I kind of think that I would have been madder in that video if I didn't get him for $24. That's why I got two hot rods. I don't remember if I mentioned that in that video or not, but I'm pretty sure a Walmart a couple towns over when I was first looking for this had put the wrong price on it or something and skated away with that. But I mean, this is ridiculous that they're just trying to charge you more and more for less and less. But I don't know. Other than that, this does look like Ultra Magnus. This looks much more like Ultra Magnus than the Siege one did. I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger on that one right when I had first started collecting Transformers again. I was pretty close to it. That was way before this was announced. But I'm glad that for some reason, I just waited on picking that up. And I'm glad I waited because, I mean, overall, I mean, this will be a good representation of him. I'm just mad about the things that I mentioned. And, I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, I'm, of course, going to design and 3D print something. I think I've seen someone else design something, but it didn't have this detail up top. I want to have that to where it has that slope up top and fills that in. I know there's all kinds of kits. There's a kit to make them taller, but honestly, like I said with the size comparison, I kind of think that if I put the height thing on him, he would be too tall. So I think this fits in on the shelf good. It's just a little bit, and of course, Hot Rod just fell over and made stuff explode off camera that you just missed. It does limit the articulation. I mean, you can't really move that leg back, so that's why people made the upgrade kits for that, so make him taller and to actually give him a little bit of leg articulation there, since there's these giant. I kind of wish these weren't necessarily pinned in like that. You could just pop this whole part off. You know, I don't, maybe that's just me. I mean, I guess it has that hollowness weird. You see the other wheels in there, but I don't know. That would take away from the bulk of the legs a little bit. Maybe give them a little bit more mobility if you wanted to do that. But this light piping here is done very well because it's like his eyes underneath the visor. I kind of like that because you can see it blue, like it's almost like the eyes are painted blue with the light blue visor, and some of it kind of goes over to the silver part of the painted face. So it kind of looks like the eyes are painted, even though they also have the light piping of the eyes underneath. So, I mean, this definitely did do some cool stuff. I just, I wish that they would have kind of went with a new mold instead of just doing the Siege thing, because, I mean, you just end up with a lot of weird oddities. I mean, they even have that hollowness on the box. I mean, I'll bring the box over real quick. And I actually meant to have the box sitting next to him when I started the review. But, I mean, even on the box, they had to do it. So they wouldn't be, like, faulty advertising this time. But, I mean, that's pretty funny. But probably 3D print fillers for that. Because it's a little of a obnoxious. But another negative of this that I've yet to get into because I haven't gotten into transformation yet is the alt mode sucks. You know, we're going to talk about that more once I transform. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that on camera. I mean, I guess. I mean, this will be the first transformation for me. Right here, I guess I'll transform him into his regular robot mode first. Look at that. Look at Stumpy. Stumpy Ultra Magnus. Look at that. This is the first, I know this might not be the first review you guys are seeing me record in a while because I record like a bunch at the same time. And it took me forever to find this guy. I actually pushed this in front of a bunch of other reviews that I had recorded. I haven't recorded a review in a while, but you can tell that I'm having fun with Stumpy Ultra Magnus here. That's hilarious. But yeah, you just kind of pop off all these parts forming parts. Slide them off. I did watch some Siege reviews, so I think that I'll be able to transform this up on camera in a timely manner. But I don't know. I really wish they would just like injection mold more things instead of having visible hollowness. I mean, plenty other toys have no visible hollowness, and they're at the same or less price points. I don't know what it is with Hasbro and them being like, hey, we're just going to have a bunch of visible hollowness. If you don't like it, you can go stick something somewhere. And that's what you got to do. I don't remember how this part, I don't want to freaking break it. All right, that just kind of slips off, right? Or does it slide on? I don't know, but I'm glad I didn't break anything. It's tight. Oh, wait, I had it locked in still. Flip out that head. Pop that back in as the camera wants to fall on me. No, no, no. I had to use this tripod for a whole bunch of different stuff. I filmed a bunch of slow motion Hot Wheels stuff, so I had to readjust it for the video. Those are not wanting to tab back in, though. There we go. All right. There is Ultra Magnus in his Prime-ish mode. I'll actually show him next to Earthrise Prime. I meant to do that in his other mode, but did not do it, as I left Prime all the way on the shelf over there. There he is next to my custom-painted Earthrise Prime. Really should have put out that comparison before, since I wanted that to be the first time me showing off the ultra custom paint work that I did to this. Yes, I have done even more since the last time you've seen him. And there's not really any other more size comparisons for this mode. I'm not going to, me personally, I'm not going to be displaying him in this mode. You know, doesn't really do much for me. It's never really done much for me, but I know the original G1 toy had the separate Prime that went in there, so that's why they usually do this, and then the comics did it. But another thing also I meant to point out in regular Ultra Magnus mode and in this mode, I wish these pegs weren't there. Those are kind of sightly. I mean, they could have like flipped in easily or something. That would have cleaned it up just a little bit more, you know, just little things. Actually, that is the only Autobot symbol on this. So I guess there is one, but it's on a mode that most people aren't going to have them in majority of the time. Oh, I think, wait, does this flip in no more? Oh no, I was about to say that I pulled a Hasbro stock image folder right there. All right, so transformation on this guy. Let's see if I can fumble through this on camera here before this cuts me off. I'm already going to have to piece the clips together. I know it's going to be a longer one. I actually wanted to wait until I got all of the Kingdom Wave 1 and 2 figures and then do like a video on it. But guess what? I've been having a lot of trouble finding these Kingdom Wave 2 figures. I mean, it took me forever to find this guy, and I was looking and looking and looking and looking. And then finally, I freaking came across one at a Walmart. I mean, it's so annoying around here. Either these stores stock like 1 or 2 and people just go buy them like the millisecond they're stocked, which I mean, I go to the stores early, or they're just not stocking them at all. And then they just want to freaking make fun of me having to stock stuff that some other people have already got months ago. Well, at least those are some nice ratchets there. I don't know how that situates itself. It seems like that flips somewhere else, but I guess that's where it goes. Yeah, oh, wait. There's little tabs in there. That's not something I'm used to expecting. There's just the cab truck mode of him. I don't have another Prime here, but this is going to cut me off and we'll be cleaned up a little bit here. All right, I have some of the separate components put together. These are the shoulder parts that click in down here. I think I was supposed to put that on there before I peg that in, but that goes on down there. This took a little bit to figure out. I was trying to get situated there, and the camera was going to cut me off anyway. So that clicks on down there, not very securely on mine. For some reason, it just wants to keep popping off. Your mileage may vary. And this whole panel flips out from the legs right there. I mean, that is crazy how much that expands from just the legs alone. Kind of smart design. I kind of wish that with the Kingdom Ultra Magnus, they maybe took some inspiration from the Masterpiece Ultra Magnus and kind of just made it not this like parts forming weirdness that it had to be for this design that they went with. How the hell does that go? Alright, well, we'll figure that out in a second. Oh, wait. Pretty sure this tabs in here. I mean, if I mess this up too much, I'll just put a jump cut. Alright, well, I would have ended up getting this video demonetized, the amount of fiddling I had to do. This part right here doesn't want to really stay together on mine. I mean, it's probably pretty finicky on most because it's a finicky area right there. But I wanted to do a test to see if a car could actually fit in the car carrier without, if you didn't tab in that top part. I haven't seen anyone try to do that. I guess you kind of can get a car in there, but without this top part tabbed on. I mean, maybe if you took out these shoulder parts, I mean, I guess I'll pop those off. Those aren't really integral to anything. It just pops in there so you don't lose those things, since this is just a parts former, which is kind of a downside. You could just rest that up top. I mean, that piece is supposed to tab in back there, but it's clear plastic, so I don't want to get scratching that up and messing that part up. So there's that. So Jazz is inside there. I thought I had another damn vehicle. I guess I just have Soundwave here. We'll have him just sit up top. But, I mean, this mode is kind of a fail for me, and I'm about to tell you why it's a fail for me. This whole situation here is, what are you doing? What is this? Are you kidding me? Leader class price, are you kidding me? Oh, there's all that! Oh. This was ridiculous. I didn't like I said, I didn't have the Siege one. This was ridiculous then. I think that this part might have went up there a little bit more, but these hands should be able to flip in easily. I mean, they do have wrist rotation, do they? They do. It's just really tight. They could still have a way to flip in. That's pretty stupid. The hands are just sticking out. These weird shoulder flap areas are just sticking out massively from the truck. This mode is kind of a fail for me. You can't get a car in through the back anyway. You have to, like I said, put it in through the top before you put that part in there. But I'm glad a car can actually fit in there. I wasn't thinking that was going to happen. We're about to show him with customized Earthrise / Kingdom Optimus Prime. So there's Kingdom Ultra Magnus next to Prime in his trailer. So, I mean, pretty comparable in size, actually, with the trailers. The car carrier is a little bit wider since it's made of kibble. But, yeah. That's what that's looking like. So, yes, you can fit a car in the car carrier. I have not seen anyone else try that. I've just seen people set it on top. So, definitely something you can do. I guess that's a little bit of a bonus, but I mean, the fact that that Autobot symbol isn't there, and the only two Autobot symbols on this is the license plate area up front and the shoulder on the mode that you're not really going to see most of the time, and not on Ultra Magnus himself, and not on the car carrier. So, I mean, is this the definitive one for Ultra Magnus? I don't know. It's probably the best we're going to get in the main line for a long time now, since this is their third use of this mold. They've used it for Siege Ultra Magnus, Galaxy Force Optimus Prime, and then this, which they could have, like, they really could have given us a new figure. I mean, I'm trying not to be too negative. I know people like to see me rant. I do like the robot mode, how it looks. It's just kind of limited in articulation because of the bulk. But I don't know. This isn't the most G1 looking. I mean, in car carrier mode. So you give and you take. I mean, hey, at least it kind of rolls. I'm actually surprised that this thing can roll, but yeah, this gap here, it's just not a very successful mode. I could make this a more successful mode with 3D printing. I could make a whole, like, not even tab this part in and just make a separate tab in part there that clicks in down there. I think I'm going to do a whole 3D print kit for this guy because there's a lot that needs to be done for this guy to be better. But yeah, this hinge being clear plastic, it's another fail in my opinion. Is that clear plastic? It just feels like really flimsy, cheap plastic. I thought it was clear plastic, but that feels really cheap right there. It feels way cheaper than the rest of the plastic. It kind of feels like a KO to me. I'm not exaggerating that. And that's not even a bad thing. The plastic quality on KOs are usually good, just without the symbol on the shoulder. There was actually one more thing I wanted to try to do in this mode. I didn't think it was going to be very successful, but I wanted to see what it would look like if instead of this piece tabbing in right there with that gap right there, I wanted to see what it would look like if it was possible to push that up as far as it could go and it could tab in like that. I think that would improve the look a little bit. It kind of makes this gap kind of closer to that. It covers up the hands and the arms right there a little bit more. That would be just a slight bit better if that was a possibility, but I guess the engineers just didn't think of that. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just change where that part tabbed. That could have literally hid the hands for you right there, and it really wouldn't have changed much else. But that's just the laziness of this. I think that he feels rushed. I think that's the main thing here. He feels rushed. Like, without the Autobot symbol on the shoulder, without it there, even though they literally have a molded mark for it on both sides. That's just, it's odd. It's definitely an odd one. But if you have any size comparison requests, tell me them in the comments, because I will be doing the overview of Is It Worth It once I get the rest of the Kingdom Wave 2. I mean, I still haven't found Inferno or Dinobot. Literally no luck, and I've looked and looked and looked. So maybe I'll have to order it online, we'll see. But I'll do those size comparisons in that video. Just tell me in the comments. And if you're new, be sure to drop a like, watch other videos, decide if you want to subscribe. You know all that YouTube stuff. Have a great one. Peace. Bye-bye.